I am going to say the thing that almost no one will say out loud at the end of a long life. People think the old are afraid of dying. We are not. Not the way you imagine. What we are afraid of is dying unfinished. Reaching the last hour still owing a word we never spoke. Still arguing in the quiet of our own heads with a life that did not turn out the way we once believed it would. That is the real fear, not the dark that comes, the weight you carry into it. I have sat with men and women at the very end of the road. I have held hands that had 90 years of living in them, and I will tell you what I learned watching them go. The ones who suffered most were not the ones in the most pain. They were the ones who could not set down their regret, who met the end still bitter at themselves, still counting the doors they never walked through. So stay with me here. Because the old ones knew a thing about regret that this loud and hurried world has forgotten. They knew how to lay it down before they went. And what I am going to share with you tonight is not how to live without regret. No one does that. It is how to make peace with the regret you already carry, so it does not poison the time you have left. Hear these slowly. There are 6 of them. The first thing the old ones knew is about the word that stays stuck in the throat. There was a man I will call Walter. Walter loved his father for 40 years and never once said it out loud. They were men of few words, the way men were taught to be in those days, and the love passed between them in other ways. A hand on the shoulder, a truck fixed without being asked, a seat saved at the table. But the word itself, the plain word, he never said it. He kept meaning to. There would be a better time, he thought, a quieter moment. And then one morning the better time was gone, and Walter stood at a grave saying the word at last to a stone that could no longer hear it. The old ones had a way of seeing this. They watched a man hold his kindness in, year after year, the way a closed hand holds a seed. And they would shake their heads because they knew what a seed is for. A seed that is never planted is not saved. It is not kept safe by being held. It simply rots in the dark of the closed hand, and the harvest it might have grown becomes nothing at all. My grandmother used to say it more simply than that. She would say, "A kind word kept inside you does not keep, it spoils, the same as milk left out. You think you are saving it for later. You are only letting it turn." So the first teaching is this. The words you are saving are not safe. They are spoiling. If there is love in you that has never found the air, do not wait for the perfect hour. The perfect hour is a thing the regretful invented to explain the words they never said. The second thing the old ones knew is that every person carries 2 lives inside them. And the war between those 2 lives is where most of our bitterness is born. There is the life you actually lived, the one with your real hands in it, your real mornings, your real mistakes. And then there is the other one, the life you imagined, the braver one, the one where you were not so afraid, where the luck fell the other way, where you said yes when you said no, where you went when you stayed. Almost everyone carries that second life like a ghost walking beside them. And at the end, when there is time to look back, people line the 2 of them up side by side and they measure. And the lived life always comes up short against the imagined one. Of course it does. The imagined life never had to be paid for. It never got sick, never got tired, never ran out of money or courage on a Tuesday. It is perfect because it never happened. The old ones watched the river, and they understood this. The river does not grieve the canyons it never carved. It does not lie awake mourning the valleys it might have run through if the land had only tilted the other way. It carved the one canyon it carved. It ran the one course it ran, and that one course reached the sea all the same. My grandfather told me, a man who measures his life against the one he dreamed will always come up short. Measure it against nothing, and it is enough. So the second teaching is to lay the ghost life down. That other life was never yours. It was only ever a story, and you cannot make peace with the life you lived as long as you keep holding it up against a life that never had to be real. Now stay right here. Do not drift off. Do not let your mind wander to the next thing, because the teaching that comes next is the one almost no one makes peace with in time. It is the one that matters most. So let me reach it before anything pulls you away. The third thing the old ones knew is the truest thing I can tell you about regret itself, and it took me most of my own life to understand it. Regret is love with nowhere to go. There was a man named Eli. For 30 years, Eli called himself a failure in his own mind. He had a long list: the business he did not start, the woman he let walk away, the son he was too hard on. He carried that list everywhere, and every name on it was a small stone, and the stones together were heavy enough to bend his back. He thought the heaviness was punishment. He thought regret was the bill life sends you for the things you got wrong. Then one winter, when Eli was 71, something turned over in him. He looked at his list, that long, aching list, and he saw it differently for the first time. Every single thing on it was something he had cared about. The business he never started because it mattered so much he was afraid to ruin it. The woman, he let her go because he loved her badly, not because he did not love her. The son, he was hard on him because he wanted so fiercely for the boy to be all right in a hard world. Every regret Eli saw was simply love that had never found a door to walk through, and the moment he called it love instead of failure, the stones did not vanish, but they stopped being stones. They became something he could carry gently in an open hand instead of clutching to his chest. The leaf does not curse the branch for letting it fall. The leaf only ever held on for the tree's sake, and when it falls to feed the spring that has not come yet. There is no failure in the leaf. There is only love, doing the last thing love can do. The third teaching is this: your regret is not proof that you failed. It is proof that something mattered to you. Rename it. Call it by its true name, and then you can carry it the way you carry anything precious. Carefully, without shame. The fourth thing the old ones knew is that not all regret is in the past. Some of it is still alive, and the living kind is not regret at all yet. It is an unfinished gift. There were two brothers, Samuel and his younger brother. 19 years they did not speak. 19 years over a thing that, by the end, neither of them could even remember clearly. Some words said in heat at a kitchen table. Some pride that hardened around the wound like bark around an old fence wire, until the tree had grown so far over it you could not tell where the injury even was. Samuel told himself the door was closed. He told himself that for 19 years. And then one Sunday, for no reason he could name, he picked up the telephone. Not to win the old argument, not to be proven right, only to set the thing down. His hands were shaking, and his brother answered on the second ring, the way you answer when you have been hoping for 19 years that the phone might do exactly this. Samuel said the relief came so fast it frightened him. He said it was like a man bracing his whole weight against a door he was sure was locked, and the door simply opening, and him falling forward into a room that had been unlocked the entire time. My grandfather had a saying for this: the door you think is closed is mostly just a door you stopped trying. The spring does not ask permission to thaw the frozen ground. It does not wait for the ice to agree. It simply begins, one warm afternoon, and the ice that took the whole long winter to harden is gone before the sun goes down. So the fourth teaching is this: look at your regrets and find the ones that are still breathing. The person who is still alive, the path you can still walk, a debt you can still pay is not a regret. It is a gift you have not finished giving. Give it while there is still time. The living regrets are the only ones you have any power over at all. The fifth thing the old ones knew is how to meet the end without bitterness. And this one I want you to hold close, because it is the whole reason I am talking to you tonight. Bitterness is the only regret that ruins the time you still have. The past is finished. It cannot be touched. But bitterness reaches forward out of the past and puts its hands around the days you have left, and it squeezes the warmth out of them one by one. There was a woman named Martha. Near the very end, when she had only good days left and not many of them, someone asked her gently whether she had any regrets. And Martha said, "Oh yes, many, more than I could tell you before the light goes." And then she said the thing I have never forgotten. She said, "But I have decided I will not spend my last good days punishing a younger woman who did the best she knew how with what little she had. That younger woman is gone. I will not chase her down to scold her now. Look at the old pine on the ridge, the one that took the lightning years ago and lost half its crown. It does not stand crooked in shame. It does not apologize for the strike. It stands as the one the whole forest remembers, marked forever by the thing it survived. The scar is not its disgrace. The scar is its history, worn out in the open where the wind can find it. My grandmother said it to me when her own hands were nearly through with this world. She said, "Do not let the last hands you have be clenched. Open them. Let it all fall where it lands." The fifth teaching is the heart of all of it. You will reach the end with regrets. Everyone does. But you get to choose whether you meet that end with your hands clenched around what you got wrong, or open and unafraid. Bitterness is a choice you make every single morning, and it is the one choice that steals the morning while you make it. The sixth thing the old ones knew is the deepest of all, and it is where peace finally lives. Most of our regret, when you follow it all the way down to the root, is anger pointed at a younger self. We are furious at the boy we were, or the girl we were, for not knowing what we know now, for being afraid when we should have been brave, for staying when we should have gone, for not seeing what is so obvious to us now, from up here, at the top of a long life. But think on this carefully. The grown tree does not blame the thin sapling it once was for bending in a wind it was far too young to stand against. The sapling bent because it had to, because it had no other roots yet, no weight, no years. The bending is not a flaw in the sapling. It is what being young in a hard wind looks like. My grandmother said the truest words I know on this. She said, "The young one who made those choices did not have your eyes. Do not hand your sorrow to a child who could not have known better. That child was you. That child did the best they could with the little they had, the little knowing, the little courage, the little time to decide. You cannot forgive the world, and you cannot forgive the people who hurt you, and you certainly cannot make peace with your own ending until you forgive the young one who walked you all the way here on legs that did not yet know the road." The sixth teaching is to go back, gently, and lay your regret down at the feet of that younger self. Not to scold them, to thank them. They got you here, and then you walk on lighter, the rest of the way, carrying only what is worth carrying. Now let me gather these together for you, the way my grandmother gathered her herbs at the end of a season. She never kept the ones that had withered, only the ones still worth holding through the winter. The first, the kind word you are saving is not safe, it is spoiling. Say it while it is still sweet. The second, lay down the imagined life. It was never yours, and you cannot make peace with the life you lived while you keep measuring it against a ghost. The third, regret is love with nowhere to go. Call it by its true name and it stops being a stone. The fourth, some regrets are still alive. The door you think is closed is mostly a door you stopped trying. Finish the gift while there is time. The fifth, bitterness is the one regret that ruins the days you have left. Do not let the last hands you have be clenched. And the sixth, forgive the young one who did not have your eyes. That child was you, and they did the best they could. I am an old man now. I will tell you the truth. I have a list of my own. Doors I never walked through, words I said too late, a few I never said at all. I used to lie awake with that list in the dark. I do not anymore. Somewhere along the way, I made my peace with the young man who could not have known better. I stopped scolding him. I started thanking him instead for getting me this far on the little he had. And now, when the autumn finally comes for me, the way it comes for every living thing, I mean to meet it the way the leaf meets the cold. Open-handed, unafraid, holding nothing back to take down into the ground with me. If these words have found something in you, then know that there is more where they came from. I have gathered 20 of these teachings into a book. It is called The Native Way, 100 pages. The link is waiting for you in the description below. Do not rush through it. Read one teaching, then sit with it overnight, and let it do its slow work while you sleep. Some of the things in that book are the words I could not finish saying here. And before you go, do one thing for me. In the quiet under this, tell me, is there a word you still have time to say to someone? Or is there one you wish you had said while there was still time? You do not have to write the whole story. Just leave the one word. So you know, and so the rest of us know, that you are not the only one carrying it. Subscribe and stay. You are part of the people who remember.